from WBNE.
Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm That Chill.
And today is Monday.
And this is Bacon and Eggs.
So destroy the tempad.
And try to stop an apocalypse.
Because today we're bringing you
Loki.
I'm gonna get out of bed and start my day. Cook up a breakfast of bacon and eggs. I won't check my phone till after my coffee.
It's only like one syllable, so I feel like I gotta really drag it out.
It is not one syllable.
Well, okay, it's one word. Like,
one word.
It's two syllables. Two. It's four letters.
You could say like Loki episode 3 Lamentus. And then I could be like, oh, it's directed by Kate Herron. Came out on June 23rd, 2021, which is 5 days ago as of this recording. That's like longer than usual. 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's it. That's all I've got.
That's all the stats we do.
Yeah,
for this one.
I want to talk about it. I want to talk about this episode. So this is an important episode for one like big obvious reason, right?
It's got one big obvious reason why it's a very important and very good episode of Loki. It takes place 50% on a train. That's all I care about. No, I'm kidding. That's a big one for me. They did the list of like the MCU ranked by how many trains appear in them, and like Thor: The Dark World has a train that goes past a window at one point. Like this is the best MCU movie. It's like this is the best MCU movie now. Anyway, Loki's gay or bi,
bisexual or pan or something. To that effect.
He's queer.
Loki is queer, which is very exciting. I mean, that's like a big deal for them. It's a real thing.
Yeah, they've been saying for a long time. Like you need to do the thing. You need to say it out loud, and they said it out loud.
They just say it out loud, and like I feel like the complaint was like you need to almost do it in a clunky way. Like it doesn't even have to fit the narrative. Just like out of nowhere, drop that info into the story, which is exactly what they did here.
Exactly,
I didn't feel like it made sense in the narrative whatsoever. Like it better come back as like we meet one of Loki's past lovers, right?
Yeah.
I also thought, and correct me if I'm wrong here, are we getting the idea that Sylvie is a trans woman? Like Loki can look like whatever they want, so...
Oh, I have no idea.
So, like, the changing of the name, the she, her pronouns, like... I don't know.
I guess. I'm not qualified to
I'm
to
not
say
qualified
whether or
either.
not.
That was just sort of like, oh, I wonder if that's what they're going for here.
Yeah, I don't know the logistics of that. Or was Sylvie like a Loki that was born female, like assigned female at birth?
I don't know.
I have no idea. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know how the Loki.
We don't know enough
works.
about their history. I do know that this episode, more than the first two, although it made me feel this way about the first two, is an episode of Doctor Who.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I very much was like, they're doing this thing, and now wait a minute, Loki is Doctor Who. That's the whole show.
The Pompeii thing didn't make you feel that way?
Pompeii thing did, but this one really like the historical future account of an apocalypse that we will never experience. I don't know, something about that was very Doctor Who to me.
The fact that it's a fixed moment in time and nothing they can do can
change it, yeah.
Can change it, yeah.
Also,
Definitely.
Sylvie really looks like that one doctor we had recently.
Jodie Whittaker?
Jodie Whittaker, yeah.
The only one that's ever been a woman?
Yes.
Yeah, no, this is a great episode. I don't really know why people don't like it.
I just felt like it felt a little bit like filler to me. That's where I'm at with this one. Was like, it was a lot of action, and it's a set moment in time. Like this planet is going to die. I think there is a cool conversation to be had. Like Loki steps up and he's like, all these people are going to die.
Yeah.
And like my first instinct was like, yeah, Loki, that's what makes this an interesting show, is that you're a villain and doesn't care that all of these people are going to die.
Right, but now he does care.
But now he does care.
Because
Even
he's
though-
not the bad guy.
Right. I think it's got to be set up in such a way that like Loki thinks that if he can save these people, he can conquer and rule these people. It's still got to go back to Loki's lust for power.
I don't think it does.
No?
Because he's beat. He knows he's beat.
Oh, you think getting killed by Thanos was enough?
No, I think that the fact that I think it was the Soul Gem thing, the Infinity Stone thing.
Oh, where he was like, "Oh, you guys are way more powerful."
Right, like he has a new whole motivation now.
What's his new whole motivation?
To destroy the TVA.
Ah, And he thinks by saving this random planet, he can destroy the TVA?
No, I don't think that at all. What?
Why does he want to save these people?
Because he's becoming a decent person.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have the conqueror's lust anymore. That's how I read it. Is that like he's losing his lust for power because he realizes that no matter what he does to attain power, he's still going to be beat.
Or
That he's not going to get it from collecting Infinity Stones for Thanos and becoming more powerful than everybody else. Like he's going to have to do it some other way. And I definitely think it was to some extent wrapped up in like, well, I don't want to die either, so. But he's going to have to learn through that he also doesn't want other people to die for no reason. Because this is like a pointless apocalypse, right? Like,
well, here's my question. Maybe Loki feels this way, is that if he saves all these people, not only does he get his brownie points for being a good guy for once, but also he fractures the timeline big time.
Big time, yeah.
Like you just put a whole bunch of souls that weren't supposed to make it back into the universe.
Mm-hmm. Because you... And I this show is so interesting because they really dial into what the word apocalypse means. And like apocalypses are planet specific.
Not even planet specific. They're like location specific.
What do you mean?
Pompeii didn't destroy Earth.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's an apocalypse.
Right.
Right, that's wild to me. That like... Because when you think of apocalypse, you think like the death of all things.
The end of the universe.
The end of the universe, right? The coming together of heaven and hell to destroy the universe and start over.
Right. And that's not what Loki is insisting an apocalypse is.
Right, at all. Because like you can hide in apocalypse energy at Pompeii. Like what's the scale there? How many people have to... What counts, right? Like,
right.
But no, I don't think it has to come back to Loki's lust for power. Like, I don't think he's going to come out and be a villain on the other end of it.
You think he's going to be an Avenger or no? You think he'll still be sort of a foil to Thor moving forward?
I don't know that he moves forward.
Do you think Loki dies at the end of the series?
I mean, I think it depends on if they're going to break the sacred timeline or not.
Well, I think
because Loki dies.
Loki dies, but I think the insistence that there is a sacred timeline has got to be falling apart. I mean, just looking at movie titles, the sacred timeline insists that there is no multiverse. That can't be the case.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. The whole point of the sacred timeline in the TVA is that there is one universe, and it's the one that we exist in. And when it branches off, we break that. That was how they pitched it in the first episode.
Right, and we sat here and talked about how there could still be multiverses within that. But like, it's not about the multiverse; it's about the all-encompassing interdimensional timeline.
So you think the TVA is outside of like suppose Miles Morales from Spider-Verse gets to appear in Far From Home. You think the TVA is a layer removed from that?
That's the thing, is the TVA is whatever they want it to be, right? Like, the TVA does not have rules at this moment.
Whatever the writers of Marvel, want it to be?
Yeah.
Correct. Although
right,
I do think that there are rules that they established that we are going to peel back. I think the TVA is farcical. I'm still on this kick that like there are no timekeepers.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Especially because at the beginning, Sylvie couldn't get any information out of Renslayer.
Yes.
At all.
Yeah. And we find out that is Renslayer the girl she captured?
Renslayer's the girl at the beginning. That they were on like a date. Not a date, but like a lunch date.
Like a platonic friend date.
A friend date, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also find out that like at one point Renslayer was a human on Earth and not created by the Timekeepers.
Yeah, that was a big one. That everybody is variants.
Yes. Everyone who works there is a variant.
Yeah.
But they don't know that they're variants.
They don't know it. Mobius has no idea.
Yeah.
So something's gone weird, and that definitely I think is. I don't know if we're gonna get more than one season of the show. Again, I mean, we said that with a couple of these now, but like, again, we're 3 episodes. We're halfway through the series, and I just don't see a wrap up coming.
Well, and I think what makes this one a little bit different than some of the other ones is that it is like Tom Hiddleston is listed as an executive producer, So in my mind, as long as he wants to keep doing it, I don't feel like they have a choice. Like they can kill off Owen Wilson, although I don't see why Owen Wilson would be like, no, I won't take your Marvel checks.
Yeah. It's not like he's too good to work for Marvel.
Right. I mean, I can see him being like, no, I just want to do my own whatever projects and live my life the way I want to. I don't want to have to deal with like the Marvel workout and stuff. But
Sure.
I'd be surprised if he has to do it to be Mobius.
Yeah, so Mobius is a variant, and that will definitely have waves. It will definitely make issues going forward in these episodes. But yeah, I don't see a way that we get back to Thanos in this series. In season 1, at least.
No. I don't see Josh Brolin showing up.
No. I don't know where the story's going.
Yeah.
Are they going to kill Variant Loki, or are they going to let Variant Loki go back to the timeline? Who knows? Is the timeline going to break entirely? I have no idea. The current the current, like, what they're setting up is that, like, the sacred timeline has to break, but also that wouldn't necessarily break the sacred timeline, right? Like,
right, that the timekeepers are lying, that the sacred timeline has to be kept in line.
But they can then just be like, no, this is the breaking of the timeline is part of the timeline.
I think if I'm Marvel and I've got this big universe with all these characters, you do run into that issue where you're writing stories and you're like, okay, so Spider-Man has to deal with the Green Goblin terrorizing New York. Like, at some point it comes up to like, why is only Spider-Man dealing with this problem? Surely you have to bring in support characters in every single story. So I think if you're Marvel and you're like, well, what if we just break the timeline and we create a timeline where the only superhero is Spider-Man? Then it's like, okay, now we have some more freedom to write stories.
That would be so boring, though. Like,
I'm surprised you say that. You strike me as I want a Spider-Man only movie type. I guess Spider-Man's a bad example because he's with Sony and his movies are usually just him anyway. But
no, it's not that. It's just like if you put everybody in their own pocket dimension, their own pocket timeline, like that sucks. That's so much garbage to keep track of. Like that sucks.
No, but I think it gives you freedom for TV shows. A lot of freedom to like, this version of Peter Parker was ripped from the regular story, and now we get to watch what it's like for him to actually be a high schooler and dive more into what that's like without harming the greater narrative.
Yeah, no, I'm not deeply interested in stuff that doesn't progress the greater narrative.
I don't think you're going to get away from this reality.
What do you mean?
I think that this is what they're going to do.
Okay, I don't.
Okay.
I sincerely doubt that they're going to do a Spider-Man TV show where it's just Spider-Man being a high school student that fights goblins, that fights bad guys by himself. Like, that's a wild call that you just made.
Well, they did that with Scarlet Witch, as they put her in the Hex.
And it advances the greater narrative.
Yeah,
she's in the Hex. She's not in space. She's not in 1740. She's not in, 2021B.
Right.
The Hex is going to have implications going forward. They've told us that.
Yeah.
Like, it leads into the Doctor Strange movie.
We think. What if the Doctor Strange movie is something like totally different?
What if the Doctor Strange movie isn't real?
There just is no Doctor
What if
Strange
the real Doctor Strange of the Multiverse of Madness was the friends we made along the way? No, I had no idea, but they've basically said as much. Like, this was supposed to be the lead up. It was supposed to happen right after, like, this is the deal. They showed us that scene in the end of WandaVision, where she's like doing the Sorcerer Supreme thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're getting away from that. But yeah, I don't foresee stick every hero in their own pocket dimension to fight it out kind of thing happening. That would be wild.
So
I think they're just going to keep having support characters in movies. They've been doing it for like 8 years now.
Yeah. Have you seen the new trailer for Shang-Chi?
I have not seen a trailer.
Have you heard about the trailer? Do you know
No.
the secret in the trailer?
No, I know nothing. I don't watch trailers.
Okay. There's a support character in there that I think when you see the movie, you're going to be like, no way.
That's cool. I'm excited. When does it come out? It's not next.
I think it might be. What's the next movie? No, the next movie
Black
is
Widow.
Black Widow, yeah. But that doesn't count. Although the reviews for Black Widow are good.
I'd be careful saying it doesn't count.
It counts, but it's not like, I don't know.
It's sort of a known quantity.
Yeah, September 3rd.
Okay.
The question of the Black Widow is, how do you make it so that Scarlett Johansson can stop being in these movies and Florence Pugh can start being in them? And that's all I care about.
Well, I mean, they've simply gone and introduced the character she plays, which is really how you start that train rolling. And then you'll have to answer a lot of weird questions of like, well, where were you?
It's got to be set up in some way that like when Black Widow was thrown off by Clint, that she knew by sacrificing herself that Florence Pugh's character gets to come back and now join the Avengers. And it's like, it's a whole thing where it works just fine.
Yeah, I'm still team Nat's not dead.
Yeah, I don't know how that one's going to work out. Surely when Tony snapped his fingers, he could have been like, I want all of Thanos' people to die and Nat to come back to life.
Well, and like, I don't know. Steve Rogers figured out a way, is what I've been saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Steve had to go back and
When he put the gem back.
Right. Do you think he had approached Red Skull and was like, I'm going to give it back, but I want Nat back too? Or did like...
Well, because I think a really interesting conversation is, why did you save Natasha and not Gamora?
Maybe Gamora's alive too.
That's my theory. That's what I'm proposing here, is that Gamora did not get saved. Natasha did. And that creates a further like Guardians versus Avengers kind of thing.
Ooh.
Dawn of Justice 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's probably what James Gunn would call it, because he definitely gets the next writing credit for an Avengers film. As long as Suicide Squad doesn't suck.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad doesn't suck. Like
that comes out like next week, doesn't it?
I don't know.
That came out of nowhere.
August 6th.
Oh,
so
okay. No, it doesn't come out next week. But yeah, so Loki, I really enjoyed this episode. I didn't feel like it was filler at all, honestly. I think that and a lot of people, I'm not just saying that you're saying that, a lot of people are saying that, but like I think that labeling something as filler 3 episodes into a 6-episode season is preposterous. You do not know the end yet. Filler is sort of something that gets assigned after the fact to me.
That's fair. I do think my theory of the Loki and Sylvie falling in love is still rock solid.
Oh, I think that's hard out.
Really?
Yeah. I think they would have done it in this episode. When Loki was like, yeah, you know, I lie with both man and woman. And Sylvie was like, yeah, I just get the lot of sex just sometimes. When I feel like it, it's not hard for me.
When I feel like it, yeah, whenever I want.
She's like, I need it to recharge me. And I was like, what are you talking about?
What is this show?
What is this show? Tom Hiddleston gets, Loki heals Todd, that guy gets drunk and sings an Asgardian folk song with the whole train.
And there's some people who know who he is.
They
and then
know
they get thrown out of the train.
I did like the train part a lot. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, where you like, look at this, the window, the image is moving. Isn't that crazy?
Isn't it crazy?
Other than that, this is exactly the same as any other set.
Yeah, but it was cool. I enjoyed it. Something cool about a big old train party.
Big old space train.
Big old space train.
I do want to know, so this hasn't come up in a few episodes. It's in the first one, and it's in the credits, but I haven't seen it anywhere else. Is the kablooey thing? I want to know what the deal with the gum from the future is.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to come back somewhere, because they showed it in the credits.
Yeah, and I thought that would have been like a bigger thing.
I mean, there's still half the season left.
There's still half the show. Could it be that
I wouldn't rule anything out at this point?
Could it be that the last 3 episodes is these two landing in 2150 or whatever Kabloo is around, and they're just like, you know what? Let's open a grocery store, just the two of us, and that's the rest of the show. It's like
It just becomes like Kim's Convenience, but Loki's Convenience.
and that's it. No more apocalypses. No
We
more
decided
killing
to
people.
hang it up and, become entrepreneurs.
Grocers.
Small business owners.
I think it's the only direction you can go with this.
Well, so the tempad's broken. So they're
Yes.
stuck
It's like
on
broken now. First
yeah.
it was dead, and now it's like broken.
It's broken. And now they're stuck on this apocalypse planet still.
So what they're gonna have to do is here's if you're Loki and Sylvie and you need to get back to the TVA, you need to break the sacred timeline. And the best way to do that is to save these people.
Yeah.
And then the TVA will show up.
They will show up and be like, oh, heck. Hi, guys.
But then they get an in back to no Owen Wilson in this episode. That upset me big time.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. A lot of people are mad.
I need him in every episode.
Well, I definitely think he'll be back in the next episode. I do think that you're probably exactly correct, is that they're going to have to find some way to break the timeline enough that the TVA needs to come rescue them.
Yeah.
But that's going to take some convincing on Loki's part to get Sylvie to agree to that.
Yes.
Because she's very much not on board with let me go back to Timeline HQ. Is there a dog in that room?
There's a dog in this room. This is why I was late to us recording today. This is just a little fun Tyler fact. This very dog, Sawyer, just jumped in the shower with me. Which he's never done before.
What an idiot. I'm sure he didn't love that.
Oh, no, he was totally chill about it.
Was he?
Stood there, so I got the soap and I washed him. And listen, I'm probably a bad dog owner. I didn't know where the dog soap was because when we moved, it went missing. And we moved like 10 months ago.
Oh, no. You haven't bathed your dogs in 10 months?
Listen, man, when people have puppies, it's like they wash them all the time. When you got children, it's a dog. How dirty could he possibly be?
Dirty. It's bad for him, man. He's going to get fleas and stuff.
No, we give him the medicine.
I don't know. Be a very stinky puppy.
I don't know. If he's stinky, I didn't notice it. He's clean now
Fair. Because you gave him a shower.
because I gave him a shower. I got to watch Stella next.
I'm just picturing you like holding him in your arms, just like, hey, little guy.
And
He's
I don't have
just
like
a little guy.
I don't have a tub in my master bath. I just have like a walk-in shower. I don't know if you know this, but
I've not been in your master bathroom, but I would move if I was you.
I could just buy a tub.
Okay, I would do that.
I have one in my guest bath. If I need to take a bath, it's not like I can't use the guest bathroom.
I mean, that's fair, but like, oh boy, you and I have different priorities in life.
I have dual vanities. That was really the kicker with this house.
Yeah, I'd rather have a single vanity and a bathtub.
Disagreed. Hard.
I'm just saying, you and I have different priorities in life, man. We're on
guess
different
so.
paths.
Yeah.
My path
I mean,
leads to taking as many baths as possible.
I do own a bathtub. I have a chair in my shower. Like it's got a built-in chair.
That is not the same thing, and I don't know how to tell you that.
It's the warm, clean water that I want. That's the part of the bath that I enjoy.
Okay, you were also the guy in college that used to just like take depression naps in the shower.
Yes. Yes, I
You
am.
absolute psychopath.
So, maybe not having a shower is good for me.
No, you have a shower.
I mean, maybe not having a bathtub is good for me.
I remember one time we had that god awful shower in James River Hall, the tiny one. It was like
Yeah, it was like a prison shower.
yeah, like a prison shower. And I remember one time I got on the floor and curled up in the shower in that bathroom. I was so sick.
One time, I
just-
did that every day.
Oh, I didn't. I never did that.
Yeah,
It was so small.
Crisscross applesauce in the bottom of that shower.
No, and
where
I just sat down and laid on the floor and
God knows what nastiness the 4 men who lived there
I
never
was
cleaned that shower.
so sick. It was after my 20th birthday. The
Nice.
the time at Christian's house with all the Jameson, all
Yes.
the Maker's Mark.
Yes.
Don't be stupid, kids.
Don't do alcohol.
Don't do alcohol, especially underage, especially not Yingling and Maker's Mark.
Or do. I'm not your dad.
I haven't been able to look at a Yingling since then.
If you are my children listening to this in the far off future, I am your dad. And I don't know, go with whatever I've decided as an adult 20 years from now.
Yeah, the drinking age might be 27 by then.
Right,
Who
yeah.
knows?
But do you hear the weed whacker? This is the future
No.
of bacon and eggs. Oh, there's a weed whacker right outside my window.
The future of bacon, that's the past of Bacon and Eggs. We did a whole episode.
It's on Spider-Man.
Was that it?
I think it was Spider-Man Far From Home.
What could, oh, wow. That was so long ago.
Maybe it was Homecoming.
I don't know.
think. I know I was at the lake, which is summertime, baby.
Well, I mean, that tracks with Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you think of Loki? What do you think of this show? Is this your favorite show yet? I think.
Yeah. I
Is
think
your favorite
so.
show yet?
I think so, yeah.
I still think last week's episode might be my favorite episode. But I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is my favorite show yet.
I mean, I think I prefer The Mandalorian still,
Well, okay.
honestly, but
I do like The Mandalorian.
it's close. I'm really enjoying this one. This is a good one.
Oh no, we've lost our milk.
What?
Have you seen that, like the Mandalorian thing? It's
No.
like, oh no,
What?
Baby Yoda drank all the milk.
Oh, yes. I was just confused. So what you're doing is just like, oh no, we've lost milk. Oh, Meek's dead. Here, stepped on him.
Oh, Meek's not dead.
Oh my god, the hammer pulled you off.
This week on Bacon and Eggs, Thor Ragnarok.
It'll be the third time we've covered it.
No, it's gonna be Luca.
Oh, are we doing that?
I thought so. Yeah, I thought
Okay.
that's what we decided.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, we can change our mind. Do you want to change your mind right now, Thor Ragnarok?
I mean, I definitely could tell you which of these movies I'd rather watch.
I've watched probably 80% of Luca. I think, yeah, if you were like, do you want to watch Thor Ragnarok or Luca? I'd be like, probably Thor Ragnarok. But Luca is not going to be like, you're not going to be like, man, this sucks.
Yeah, I'm not really thrilled with the Disney Plus original movie aspect they're going for.
I'm confused. Do you want to pay $30 for the new movies, or do you want to?
No, I would like them to continue to be cinematic features. I think the DCOM is a bad thing only.
Well, this is definitely the best quality Disney Channel original movie.
Right, but like
Ever made.
That feels. I don't like slippery slope arguments, but that feels like a pretty slippery slope. If you're gonna be like, this is a Pixar DCOM, I don't want that. I have no desire for that. And I get that it's just like, I'm sure it was supposed to be a theatrically released movie that they then like backed out on because of COVID.
And then I bet Pixar got some say in how they released it as well. Although Pixar did two of them like this. One of them. They did Soul.
Yeah, Soul I don't think was a intentional decision. I don't think they wanted that. Soul I don't think they had any choice at that point.
Yeah. They're pumping out these Pixar movies, though. I need them to like dial it back a little bit because it's going to take away some of the magic if like twice a year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if twice to thrice a year for the end of time, there's a Pixar movie.
They're going to stop being
Like, this is what Star Wars got right for so long, right? You would give you one movie every 2 to 3 years, every other 20 years.
well every 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what Star Wars was doing right. And now
And they can accelerate that timeline a little bit, right? Like, that's fine. It doesn't have to be 20 years. It can be 5 years.
it could be every other year. I think when you get to I think what doomed The Last Jedi and Solo, which are both good movies, was the frequency with which we were getting Star Wars content.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what killed Solo for sure.
It's definitely what killed Solo.
Yeah. MCU is going to go the same way, though, I think. So we got 4 movies this year, and I believe 4 movies next year. plus all these TV shows, it's unsustainable.
Correct.
Like that will just you did a great thing accidentally by waiting forever to put all this stuff out because of COVID. And that gave people time to heal and recover
From Endgame.
But if you're like, okay, we've got a show every other 6 weeks and also sometimes every 6 weeks, and there's a movie in July and a movie in September and a movie in November and a movie at Christmas.
Enjoy.
And then probably a movie in March and then one again in May and then another one in summer and then another one in fall. And I'm like, okay, hang on a second.
There's a lot to keep track of here.
Like, how many MCU movies are we getting between this July and next July? It's got to be at least 5 or 6.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think let's see. Let me pull it up.
That's a lot to keep up with.
We have Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man.
This year. Yeah.
Those are the rest this year. And then March is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. May is Thor, Love and Thunder. And then July is Wakanda Forever.
So 7 movies between this July and next July.
Yes.
Like,
And then-
I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining, but I am concerned.
And then before the end of 2022, there's one more, and it's the
Yeah.
Marvels. I don't know what that is.
I
I think it's Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and something else. I don't know.
And the Marvelous Miss Maisel.
I don't think she's part of it.
Cannot wrap my head around the fact that that's not the word Marvel being involved, even just marvelous. Cannot wrap my head around the fact that the Marvelous Miss Maisel is not part of the MCU. I would watch that. I haven't watched that show, but I would watch that whole show being like, so the superpowers come when?
That's how it was when I watched that show.
How many seasons?
But if you told me that the next Marvel movie that comes out is Black Widow, which I think at this point is like, okay, we actually have to have that. Like, you can't hold on to it any longer. But then if you said Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was the next one after that, and it's not coming out until December, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks.
Although I think, honestly, they have to do the bookend like that. You have to do Black Widow and then slam the other two in before Spider-Man. Because
Correct.
Otherwise, simply no one would see them.
Yeah. And then you get
There's no good. The COVID thing definitely ruined the schedule a little bit because now there's just no good way to do it.
right.
Because you have
now
to
you get
bookend the
new characters.
the new characters. Like, there's got to be a reason to see Black Widow has to give you a reason to see Shang-Chi, and Eternals has to give you something you need for Spider-Man.
I don't think either of those things are going to happen.
I know, but like that's what I feel like you got to do.
Right. But then we don't get another movie with new viewer characters until the Marvels, which I think is going to be 50%. I don't know what the Marvels is.
I have
I'm sure
no
there's
clue.
information. I think it's going to be Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, which there's a TV show for Miss Marvel. And
When is that happening? Is that this year?
Miss Marvel starts late 2021
Okay.
after Hawkeye, which is after What If,
Yes.
which is next.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff on the calendar. I'm enjoying Loki, though. We got 3 more weeks of Loki. I think this show is fantastic. I'm very much enjoying these characters. I thought I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know Sylvie in this episode. I think she's fantastic. She's very different from Tom Hiddleston Loki, and she's not a Loki. She doesn't want to be called Loki. I definitely think we're going to get a reason for that.
Do you think we will, or do you think that will be Marvel's message is like, if somebody tells you their name's Sylvie, call them Sylvie. And that's the end of it? And like, you don't need to know why.
I don't think so. I would love for that to be the case. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they hit it a little hard in this episode for it to be that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's going to be a reason.
We're going to get some backstory there.
Otherwise, I feel like when she first was like, I'm not a Loki, he would have been like, oh, well, what do you want to be called? They would have just kind of gone with it.
Yeah.
But there was definitely pushback. Like, he definitely said it a couple more times before she was like, listen, guy.
It's Sylvie.
Yeah.
So shut up.
So I think if they were trying to go for, like, when somebody tells you your name, listen, then they would have just done that. Like, I do think that one's going to be a plot point. And then we're going to find out what happened between her and, I don't know, Thor or Loki or Odin or Frigga or who knows what.
She never knew Frigga. That is some backstory we got here. Or whatever her universe's version of Frigga is.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah. So there's going to be something, I think.
I guess I'm approaching this as like she's Loki from a different universe, but I guess that's not the case. Like, ideally, they're from the same timeline?
Somehow, it seems like she really got far down the road for to not be caught yet.
Yeah.
But also the TVA is like, we've dealt with this guy a lot. There's been a lot of Lokis that are, so it seems like he has been creating variations all over the place forever. Yeah. So, and that doesn't 100% surprise me. I mean, he's the trickster god, right? Like, you're going to get some of them wrong.
Yeah, perhaps the approach is like, yes, this Loki from the MCU will die, but there's always like a reincarnation type story to
right.
it.
There must always be a Loki.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, like, there must always be a doctor, and now Loki is the doctor in the MCU.
Well, you know, if one of the doctors shows up, then we'll talk about that on the show. If, like, all of a sudden David Tennant's like, hi. I know I was already technically in the MCU, but
so is Chris Eccleston.
Yeah. I don't think they would do Chris Eccleston.
Oh, you mean like if the doctor shows up like as the doctor?
As the doctor, yeah.
No, Chris Eccleston definitely would not do that.
Yeah.
Like Matt Smith would, I think. Definitely David Tennant would. David Tennant would. He has so much fun with everything. What was he in the MCU?
He was in Jessica Jones.
Oh, that's not the MCU anymore.
It's
decanonized.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It sucked, so that would make sense.
Yeah, all of them were, I think. You got to a point at some point where it's like everything takes place in New York. Where's Matt Murdock?
Yeah. I mean, they've been asking those questions for a long time. It's like, why are none of you helping each other?
Right.
And that was the point you made earlier. It's like, there's been plenty of freaking solo movies where, like, Steve Rogers goes up against the world and Tony Stark is just like, hi, guys. I'm Tony Stark.
Doing my Tony Stark thing. That was Winter Soldier was that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got for Loki this week.
Yeah, me too. This is a fun show. I'm enjoying it. It's good to be back on the Marvel Mondays. Do we get to like continue doing this? Like, is there like another big break?
I just had it pulled up, but now, of course, I have a lot of windows here. So let's see. Marvel release dates. What If starts August 2021. So it doesn't give me a date, but we have 3 more weeks of this, which puts us into
mid-July,
30th, 7th, and 14th. And then if it's August, there will at least be 2 weeks off. One of them would be the making of episode, and then the next week, I don't know. But that'd be July 28th. And then, yeah. Maybe they're switching back to Fridays or something. I don't know.
We get Black Widow in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Black Widow is
it's during this run. I
July
think it's
9th. Yeah, it's in the middle of it.
Cool. Well, lots of MCU content coming. I have no idea what I think is going to happen in the next episode. Well, I have ideas of what I think is going to happen in the next episode of Loki. They're definitely going to have to get off the doomed planet
and meet the TVA again.
And meet the TVA again, right? Like you can't have that one just hanging forever. It can't not be.
Well, what if you do? What if you're just like, and that is the story with the TVA? We'll revisit that in the future.
In the next season.
Or like it shows up in the Eternals, or it shows up in.
Or there's a show next year that's like Mobius and Friends.
Yeah, Mobius and the TVA.
Coming in late 2021.
Or late 2023. They really push it off.
I mean...
Directed by Wes Anderson.
Directed by Wes Anderson. It's just got the title card at the front that's like, this is presented in 4:3 to protect Zack Snyder's creative vision for some reason. A film by Wes Anderson. Zack Snyder.
That movie sucked.
I have no desire to watch it. None.
I watched about half.
I didn't like the original.
Well, they would tell you didn't like it because it wasn't Zack Snyder's vision.
Yeah, but like the slightly better version of a thing, the allegedly slightly better and more controversial version of a thing that sucked, doesn't make me want to watch it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Cool. Anyway, this has been an episode of Loki. Our graphics are by Baconandeggsmedia. Brandon. Our music is by Sam Jones. You can find
Sam
those
C.
people.
Jones.
No, go ahead. You want to talk? Go ahead.
It's just Sam C.
No,
Jones.
no. I mean, you want to take the credits? Take the credits.
All right. Our graphics are by Sean Brandon. Our music's by Sam C. Jones. If you want to listen to Sam C. Jones, his music's on Spotify. He's got like 100,000 followers on TikTok. Very proud of him for that. So you follow him on TikTok. This show is produced by WB&E proudly. It's edited by Ethan Edgehill of ethanedgehill.com. If you like Ethan for your project, feel free to shoot him an email at ethan@ethanedgehill.com. And or just, I think he probably has a contact page on his website. That's probably the best way to get to him. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on Thursday with Luca.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.